In a universe where logic reigns, Zia, an alien scientist, embarks on a groundbreaking experiment to unlock human resilience. As she explores emotions through her bond with Jamie, a human volunteer, unforeseen connections challenge her beliefs and ignite a conflict between science and feeling. What happens when the quest for knowledge clashes with the profound truth of humanity? Don't forget to subscribe. 91% of viewers enjoy our content but forget to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with our daily sci-fi stories and support a dedicated team of storytellers and content creators who rely on this as their livelihood. In the heart of the high-tech laboratory of the Vala, nestled within the sprawling metropolis of Wythari, star-filled skies shone through transparent domes, illuminating sleek metal surfaces and glowing data screens. The air buzzed with the hum of advanced technology and the scent of ozone mixed with a whiff of something almost fragrant, an aromatic byproduct of the various experiments conducted within these walls. Here, where cutting-edge innovations met curiosity, Zia stood poised for the initiation of her latest project. Zia, with her shimmering azure skin that reflected the light in prismatic hues, was an exemplar of her kind. Her luminescent eyes, deep sapphire like the most precious gems, conveyed both intelligence and an undercurrent of the unknown. Her long silver hair floated around her shoulders like a celestial halo as she worked, petals of vibrant energy swirling around her in focused patterns, showcasing her prowess as a scientist devoted to unraveling cosmic mysteries. Yet amidst her brilliance, there was an uncharacteristic tremor of anticipation, a stirring within her that hinted at something unforeseen about to unfold. As the door to the chamber glided open, Jamie stepped inside, bringing with him a warmth that contrasted sharply with the cold sterility of the lab. A volunteer for Zia's ambitious study, Jamie was of average height, with tousled brown hair that framed a face marked by an earnest curiosity. His bright brown eyes sparkled with kindness and a hint of mischief, revealing a spirit that sought understanding of the universe's mysteries. Today, he was not just a subject but an explorer of the vast emotional landscapes Zia strove to decode. "Are you ready?" Zia asked, her voice steady, though a current of excitement veined her tone, revealing the emotions she had spent her life studying but never truly felt. "Absolutely," Jamie replied, his enthusiasm infectious. "Let's find out what makes us human." He flashed a confident grin, illuminating the room and making the sterile surroundings seem somehow warmer. Despite her meticulous preparations, a flicker of doubt ghosted across Zia's mind. She pushed it aside. What could possibly go wrong? Her calculations were precise, her instruments calibrated to the finest degree. Yet, as Jamie reclined upon the sleek examination table, an elegant fusion of technology and biology, Zia felt an undercurrent of tension. The space around them seemed to pulse with an energy that transcended the technological realm. With a deep breath, Zia initiated the procedure, her fingers flying across the control panel. The data screens danced before her, metrics whirring into life. As the infusion device hummed and came to life, waves of medical energy coursed through Jamie, sparking an incandescent light that illuminates the room. Zia's heart raced. She was on the precipice of discovery. For years, she had observed humans from afar, their complexities preserved in data logs and distant readings. Now, she was about to dive deeper, far deeper than any Vala had ventured before. Yet, something shifted in that moment, a tremor in the fabric of reality itself, a collision of two worlds that neither could comprehend. Unbeknownst to both, the experiment would yield results that transcended mere numbers and charts, catalyzing a series of events that would irrevocably intertwine their destinies. As currents of vibrant light enveloped Jamie, Zia experienced a surge of energy that felt incomprehensibly vast, breaking the boundaries of her logical mind. The air around Zia crackled with palpable energy as she initiated the infusion device, a sleek, transparent conduit pulsating with vibrant currents of light. Jamie lay on the examination table, cocooned within a halo of luminescence that flickered like distant stars. The essence of the human spirit, so intricate yet so raw, beckoned to her in ways she had never considered. As the infusion began, waves of medical energy surged into Jamie, slicing through the sterile atmosphere of the laboratory. "Breathe," Zia instructed softly, wiping a bead of sweat from her brow, the layers of her advanced technology humming reassuringly around her. As the intricate machinery came to life, a rhythmic pulse emanated from the bioscanner, blending with the bioelectric aura surrounding Jamie. This was the moment she had meticulously prepared for, driven by an insatiable thirst for knowledge. But within that moment, she felt something unanticipated, a shuddering jolt that resonated deep within her, challenging the very foundation of her Vala logic. Zia had read extensively on human resilience and the complexities of emotions, but experiencing those feelings firsthand was an unpredictable tempest. A warm glow enveloped her as the energy found its rhythm, a kaleidoscope of sensations threading through her heart and mind. Curiosity flickering like starlight, fear raking through her as if pursued by a phantom, warmth blossoming with surprising tenderness, and a piercing insight that evoked a sense of belonging she had never known. "What is happening?" Zia whispered, her voice betraying her carefully cultivated composure. Her luminous eyes, usually so steadfast with knowledge, now mirrored the turmoil swirling within her. She stood at a threshold, a precipice above an abyss filled with confusion and wonder. "I think it's working," Jamie replied, his voice steadied by equal parts excitement and uncertainty. "Are you okay?" Zia tried to articulate her feelings, to dissect them with the keen analytical prowess she possessed. "I am not sure. This data, these feelings, they are contrary to everything I know." Each syllable hung in the air, laden with the ease of an admission she had never anticipated needing to express. Confusion melded into frustration, and for the first time, Zia confronted an internal enemy far more daunting than any uncharted dataset. "Why do I feel this way? I am a scientist, not a subject of emotion," she admitted, her heart racing against the backdrop of the often clinical world she inhabited. A throbbing empathy resided in Jamie's gaze, reflecting his unerring ability to read her turmoil. "Zia, feelings don't make you weak. They're what make you alive. Maybe you're feeling the humanity in me," he suggested, a hint of trepidation lacing his words. The experiment, which had initially seemed so simple in her mind, unfolded into a web of connections that blurred the lines between creator and subject. Jamie's steady heartbeat, echoed by the rhythm of the machinery around them, became a backdrop to her spiraling thoughts. The connection felt both exhilarating and terrifying, hinting at uncharted depths within her. What if these emotions could bring to light the very essence of life itself? As the infusion continued, the chamber filled with vibrant light, illuminating not only the laboratory but the unspoken bonds forming between them. Zia swallowed hard, her usual hesitation evaporating in the warm glow of insight. "This is data, true," she stated, infusing her voice with newfound determination, "but every shred of information is woven into something more, an experience." A momentary stillness enveloped them, the flickering lights of the machinery casting shadows that danced across the sterile walls. In that fleeting moment, Zia realized that she and Jamie were interlinked by far more than just a scientific curiosity. They were crossing thresholds into uncharted territories of existence that neither of them had anticipated. But as quickly as the clarity came, doubt followed like the looming specter of uncertainty. The tension in the air thickened, a shared apprehension that seemed to vibrate between them. Zia gazed at Jamie, noticing how the light caught the depths of his bright brown eyes, highlighting his expression, a blend of wonder and worry, mirroring her own internal conflict. In the subsequent days, as their experiment resumed, the air between them thickened with a palpable energy, striking a delicate balance between excitement and anxiety. Each encounter became a tapestry rich with layers of unspoken emotions. Words unspoken but vividly felt. Zia, meticulously cataloging data and reactions, found herself noting more than just findings. She captured the flicker of warmth in Jamie's gaze when she shared a laugh, the way his presence ignited a warmth that overshadowed the chilly neutrality of her scientific focus. Why do emotions feel so freeing yet so constraining at the same time? Zia mused one evening, reclining against the transparent walls that revealed the sprawling cosmos beyond. Stars, like distant guardians, sparkled in the darkness, their light a source of solace as she searched for answers. Maybe that's the beauty of them, Jamie replied, leaning forward, the soft blue glow of the laboratory reflecting off his features. They push you beyond your limits, make you question your place in the universe. It's part of the journey. Zia felt a sudden rush of clarity wash over her, a realization that surged through her veins. What if these emotions are part of the data? A variable I must analyze? She could feel the potential unraveling before her, a delicate thread leading her deeper into the labyrinth of human experience. But in that delicate space, she also sensed a precarious balance, an intensity hovering just beneath the surface. The thought of losing control over her discoveries, of losing herself within the whirlpool of human feelings, loomed menacingly in her mind. Each moment spent in Jamie's presence ignited a flicker of a bond she could not escape. And for Zia, who had dedicated her life to unraveling the mysteries of the universe with cold precision, the prospect of entanglement was both mesmerizing and frightening. As their experiment progressed, Zia felt the boundaries she had so carefully erected crumbling under the weight of their shared experiences. Conversations transformed, no longer functioning solely as exchanges of data but evolving into discussions laced with meaning, moments filled with laughter, anxiety, curiosity, and even heartache. One evening, as the soft luminescence of the chamber bathed them in ethereal light, Jamie ventured into uncharted territory. Zia, he began, hesitating for a heartbeat, I've been thinking. What happens if this experiment goes further? What if the connection we forge changes everything? It's already changing everything, she replied, her voice wavering. I can feel it shifting, like the tectonic plates beneath us, creating waves and ripples that will leave no ground unturned. So, what do we do? Jamie asked, his brow furrowing in thought. Days passed in a symphony of silent intensity, the laboratory transforming into a sanctuary of unvoiced emotions. The ethereal lights, shifting colors from cobalt to a soft violet, cast a dreamlike ambiance as Zia and Jamie navigated their newfound reality. Their interactions had transcended the sterile confines of scientific inquiry, becoming a tapestry of unspoken words and lingering glances, thick with the weight of their mutual exploration. Zia, aglow with the unaccustomed vigor of her feelings, found herself immersed more deeply in the complexities of human nature. Each day, as she observed Jamie, she felt the stirrings of something unspeakable, something beautiful. Yet, despite this vibrancy, shadows of doubt crept in, threading through her consciousness like errant whispers in the night. Look at the data, she murmured to herself, unable to peel her gaze away from the flickering holographic screens displaying the experiment statistics. Graphs and figures danced in a chaotic ballet, yet they did little to illuminate the churning confusion within her. She peered closely at the neural activity chart that surged following her emotional encounters with Jamie. Data she had meticulously charted mapped a frenetic energy that contradicted her Vala upbringing. The soft swish of the laboratory door brought her back to the present. Jamie stepped inside, his presence warm and inviting, instantly dispelling the chill of her fears. His bright brown eyes sparkled beneath the soft blue glow of the lab lights, filled with an earnestness that was both reassuring and disarming. "Hey, I thought we might review the results from yesterday," he suggested, his voice grounding her swirling thoughts. "Results? Yes," Zia replied, forcing a smile over her inner tumult. She motioned to the console, the holographic display behind her illuminating the results from the infusion experiment. "Your neural patterns reacted unusually," she said, her voice barely a whisper, as though speaking louder would fracture the delicate quiet that had settled between them. "Unusually good or unusually bad?" he teased, his grin expansive. "Complicated." The word dripped from her lips, heavy with implications. Complications were both a scientist's dream and nightmare. In the pursuit of knowledge, when the unexpected reared its head, the comfort of predictability slipped away like sand through fingers. "The data indicates that your emotional responses have triggered something unprecedented within my systems," she continued, resolute yet vulnerable. "Experiencing emotions allows for new pathways to form," she explained, warily glancing at Jamie, "yet it is all messy." Intriguingly, Jamie tilted his head, leaning closer. "Messy can be beautiful," he said softly. "Those raw emotions are a glimpse into what connects us to one another." "Isn't that worth exploring?" Zia paused, the resonance of his words stirring something deep inside her. Beautiful. A concept she had previously reserved to describe her artistic expressions or serene landscapes was now evidently applicable to the storm brewing within her. But embracing beauty also meant accepting uncertainty. "Maybe they're not distractions," Jamie said, returning his gaze to the data and then back at her. "Maybe they're what make us alive." She pondered on this, wrestling with the implications. Emotions had long been relegated to the realm of the irrational in her world. Rationality was Vala's guiding star, a beacon highlighting the virtues of logic and precision in science. But here she was, standing at the precipice of her own understanding, questioning everything she thought she knew. Driven by that conflict, Zia turned from the screens, crossing the room to face Jamie fully. "Do you believe that embracing this chaos, this mess, will enhance our discoveries?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly at the enormity of what she was contemplating. "Or are we merely yielding to fleeting whims?" Jamie regarded her intently, as if he could see into the very depths of her soul. "It's both, Zia," he replied, his warmth enveloping her like a cozy blanket on a cold night. "Growth comes with discomfort. It's how we stretch, adapt, and thrive." In that exchange, Zia inhaled deeply, the atmosphere thick with silent understanding. She had always viewed herself as precise, a master strategist in a chess game of knowledge. But chess pieces did not dance with passion. They did not weave tales of heart and connection. Perhaps Jamie was right. Perhaps surrendering to this chaotic current would unlock knowledge she had never imagined possible. Yet, the turmoil within her persisted, wrestling against the burgeoning affection she felt for him. It was nearly palpable, hanging between them, a chord strummed by unspoken words. As Zia looked into Jamie's eyes, reflective and hopeful, she realized that this experiment had evolved beyond the parameters of scientific study. She found herself yearning to understand not just the intricate workings of humans but to explore her own heart, unraveling the truths entangled there. Her voice trembled slightly as she spoke again. "Do you understand what this means, Jamie?" A shadow of apprehension crossed his face. "Are we ready to uncover whatever that may be?" Within the quietude of that moment, Zia felt change edging closer, lurking in the periphery of her awareness. "It means we may have to face what this truly is," she murmured, a twinge of fear escaping into the spaces between them. With a heavy heart, Jamie stepped back, a contemplative frown on his face. And what if it's too intense? What if we lose ourselves in this connection? If I become just a variable in your research, or worse, another experiment that you have to analyze? As shadows of doubt crept into Jamie's words, Zia felt an inexplicable pang in her chest. You are not a variable, she stated firmly. You have become far too complex and integral. You are. Her voice faltered, the weight of her emotions anchoring her words. You are my focus now. The gravity of those words hung in the air, suspended between them. Something unshakable occurred, an energetic pulse, a mutual recognition that their destinies were entwined like cosmic strings. Jamie's warmth enveloped her as he held her gaze, the room pulsating with uncharted possibilities. But as moments of revelation paralleled the crumbling of Zia's defenses, the lab lights flickered, casting eerie shadows. Warnings began to chime from the systems as a low hum enveloped them, a palpable tension thumbing through the walls of the lab. What's happening? Jamie asked, an edge of concern threading through his voice. Anomalies in the system, Zia murmured in disbelief, her heart pounding as alarms blared. Data streams erupted to life, listing threads like spells in a ritual. Intermittent glitches flickered across the screens, distorting their research. A sudden flash illuminated the room, sending a wave of electric tension rippling through the atmosphere. In the deepening shadows of the laboratory, illuminated only by the shimmering holographic displays of data, Zia stood, her azure skin glowing faintly against the darkness. The air was thick with anticipation and uncertainty as Jamie, sitting across from her, bore witness to the unfolding tempest within her. The vibrant tendrils of emotion swirled around them, each forked spark igniting the latent tension that had been building for days. Jamie, Zia declared, her voice unwavering yet laced with an undercurrent of anxiety, I cannot continue this experiment while my mind is in disarray. Your presence ignites feelings I cannot comprehend. Her luminescent eyes, usually so filled with certainty, flickered with doubt and turmoil. The chamber felt smaller, its walls constricting with the weight of unsaid words. Jamie's heart raced as he met Zia's gaze, trying to discern the myriad emotions swirling within her. I understand, he said softly, his voice a comforting thread in the storm. But what if those feelings are exactly what you needed to discover? Emotions aren't a weakness, they're the essence of connection. Zia inhaled sharply, the layers of her carefully constructed walls trembling in the face of his sincerity. It was a stark contrast to her upbringing, where logic ruled and emotions were seen as chaotic elements that clouded the pursuit of knowledge. Yet here he was, the human subject, urging her to embrace a facet of existence she had spent her life analyzing from a distance. You're right, she breathed, a spark of revelation igniting within her. Her heart raced as layers of her carefully constructed walls began to crumble. She took a step forward, the tension in the room thickening with each heartbeat. I've fought against my emotions, but they are an integral part of existence. How can I ignore something that feels as powerful as the gravity that binds the stars? Jamie's expression morphed into one of hope as he pressed further. What do you feel, Zia? Really? The vulnerability in his voice seemed to weave around her, both a challenge and an invitation. For a moment, silence enveloped them, filled only by the soft hum of machinery and the distant echo of the universe beyond their insulated haven. The stars shone through the transparent dome overhead, twinkling like distant sentinels, as the vastness of space served as a backdrop to their intimate struggle. Zia felt her heart quickening, the rush of unwelcome emotions flooding her mind, a whirlwind of fear, elation, confusion, and longing. The kaleidoscope of feelings, vibrant and raw, was more intense than any dataset she had ever encountered. I feel alive, she finally confessed, her voice dropping to a whisper, an admission laden with weight. But it terrifies me. The sincerity in her words resonated through the chamber, mingling with the charged atmosphere that buzzed between them. Jamie nodded, his eyes reflecting an understanding deeper than words. Emotions can be terrifying, he replied, his voice steady. But they can also illuminate paths we've never considered. They connect us, Zia, in ways data alone can't measure. With his words, Zia felt a flicker of hope mixed with fear coursing through her. The flickering shadows around them seemed to dance, mimicking the chaos of her emotions. Memory fragments surged forward, moments of laughter, vulnerability, and tenderness she had observed in humans. She had always seen these interactions as mere data points, components of a larger experiment. But now, they took on new meanings, emerging through her thick lens of logic to reveal the vibrancy of human connection. I want to know what it means to be, to feel, she whispered, eyes widening as she considered the implications of her desire. She stepped closer to Jamie, her own doubts pushed aside by a growing surge of determination. But I fear losing control. I fear what it might cost. Then let's explore it together, Jamie suggested, his voice calm but filled with an undercurrent of urgency. We can take this journey side by side. You won't have to do it alone. As if in response to his words, an electrical pulse surged through the laboratory, momentarily illuminating data screens that lined the walls, algorithms that measured emotional response, mapping neural pathways, reflecting the tempestuous nature of their collective experience. Perhaps the technology she commanded, the very tools she had crafted, was not just for analyzing the unknown but could also guide her through it. Together? Zia echoed, her mind racing. You would willingly connect your thoughts and emotions with my own? You would plunge into this experiment with me, knowing the risk it poses? Of course, Jamie said, his conviction unwavering. I'm already part of this experiment, Zia. Let's redefine what it means to share this journey, a scientist and a human, exploring what it means to connect and to feel. Zia hesitated for a heartbeat, the enormity of his proposal washing over her like a tidal wave. Could she truly abandon her rigidity? Could she open herself to vulnerability? Would being vulnerable amplify her understanding of the human experience rather than diminish it? Then, with sudden clarity, she felt the suffocating chains of her self-imposed limitations shatter. Yes, she declared, her voice rising above the low hum of the lab equipment. I will embrace this unknown, the chaos, the emotions, the uncertainty, and together we will find new paths of understanding. In that moment, time seemed to freeze. The gravity of their newfound alliance hung palpably in the air, binding them closer than ever before. A radiant warmth enveloped them, fingers of fate intertwining their destinies as the darkness around faded away, if only for a brief moment. But even as joy blossomed in her heart, Zia felt a nagging sensation at the edge of her consciousness, a whisper of trepidation. An underlying current ebbed beneath their alliance, as if the cosmos itself was holding its breath, waiting to see what would transpire. Just as they were on the verge of a thrilling adventure, the doors separating them from the rest of the universe loomed large and foreboding. Before she could articulate the sense of unease pulsing from the stars above, the ground beneath them began to tremble as an alarming klaxon sounded through the lab, echoing a long-forgotten warning. The walls tremored, and a cascade of lights flickered ominously. Zia's heart raced as she exchanged a panicked glance with Jamie. Their connection was suddenly overshadowed by the darkness of impending danger. What is happening? Jamie shouted, urgency rising in his tone. The containment field, Zia exclaimed, her eyes darting to the fluctuating energy readings on the display. It's destabilizing. Our experiment has drawn attention, unwanted attention. As she spoke, a series of data fields erupted across the screens, exposing a tangled mesh of calculations gone awry. In the aftermath of their confrontation, the laboratory transformed, charged with an energy unlike any Zia had ever felt before. The sleek walls, usually adorned with meticulously organized charts and empirical data, now pulsed with a rhythm akin to the beat of their hearts. Zia stood at the center of this volatility, her azure skin shimmering under the fluorescent lights, unveiling a vibrant glow that echoed her inner revelations. "Jamie," she began, her voice steady but imbued with warmth, "what I feel for you is not merely scientific data. It is a bond, profound and essential." Her luminous eyes locked onto his, a universe of understanding reflected within them. Jamie leaned forward, his bright brown eyes shimmering with appreciation. "I can see it in you, Zia. You're more than just a scientist now. You're experiencing life in all its complexity." A gentle smile crossed his lips, breaking a tension that had hung in the air like a dense cloud. "That's what makes this journey extraordinary." Zia let the weight of his words settle within her, marveling at how their connection had evolved. The blend of science and emotion spun a tapestry of understanding that transcended her initial intentions. "This connection, Jamie, it changes everything." She took a step closer, the humming of the lab fading into the background. As they stood face to face, an electric pulse surged between them, an unspoken promise solidifying their bond. "When I looked at the data," she mused, "I only saw resilience as a statistic, a quantifiable trait. Now I see it as a living memory, a heartbeat." He nodded, his expression shifting from curiosity to profound understanding. "That's the beauty of emotions. They define our experience, give us context and meaning. Each heartbeat is a memory, and every memory influences who we become." Zia felt the room constricting around her thoughts. A million ideas bombarded her, demanding attention. "Do you think," she paused, her mind racing, "can we harness this bond, this phenomenon we're experiencing? Can we study it with the same rigor we apply to other scientific disciplines?" "Perhaps," Jamie replied, his voice steady, filled with conviction. "But as we study it, we should never lose sight of the experience itself. It's not just about understanding, but about living it." She took a deep breath, allowing herself to bask in the moment. Zia had initially sought to understand the human spirit from a distance, without the complications of personal entanglement. Now, she was ensnared in something infinitely more intricate and beautiful than mere observations. Continuing to explore the intricacies of their shared journey, Zia decided to immerse herself further into the study of emotions. "All right then, how do we begin?" she asked, her demeanor shifting from trepidation to eager determination. Jamie chuckled softly, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "How about a series of experiments? A chance for us to explore emotions in real time?" As they began to brainstorm, Zia's thoughts raced with excitement and trepidation. "We can analyze various situations, moments of joy, sorrow, connection. Each experience has the power to illuminate a different quality of resilience. But it has to be genuine and authentic." "Absolutely," he agreed, leaning back against the cold metal table, a playful grin breaking across his face. "Let's create a safe space where we can let emotions flow freely, and we'll see how our reactions unfold." The lab, which had always felt sterile and clinical, began to take on a different atmosphere. Zia envisioned it as the crucible of human experience. "Each emotional encounter will have a data component," she suggested, determination evident in her voice. "We can modify our methods of observation." Their brainstorming turned into laughter, anecdotes flowing effortlessly. They discussed moments from their lives that had shaped them. Jamie's cherished memory of his childhood dog, a small creature that had taught him the meaning of loyalty and friendship. "It was the way he'd greet me each day, as if we'd just seen each other after years apart," he described, his voice animated and tender. "There's resilience in that type of love, a steadfastness that I've carried with me." Zia shared her own past, filled with tales of discovery and unyielding ambition. On my home planet, she began, I lost my family to an interstellar incident. It taught me resilience in the pursuit of knowledge. I buried myself in research, seeking to unlock secrets of life and death. His gaze turned sympathetic, and Zia felt the weight of her revelation settle in the space between them. In your pursuit of logic, you transformed grief into knowledge, he remarked softly. That's a powerful embodiment of resilience. As they shared, each story layered upon the last, their bond deepened. They began to engage in lively discussions about humanity's relationship with emotion, how societies categorize feelings, how cultures express love and loss, and the science of neurotransmitters that accompanied human emotions. Emotions fuel creativity, drive innovation, and sustain connections, Zia mused, her fingers brushing over sophisticated holographic projections showcasing emotional responses mapped as colorful waves. This is beyond mere biochemical reactions, it's a dance of existence. Their laughter faded into thoughtful silence, and for a moment, the weight of the universe felt light. The room glimmered with the shared intensity of their discoveries. As time flowed seamlessly around them, Zia realized they weren't just conducting an experiment. They were encountering the heart of existence, what it meant to be alive. This endeavor wasn't merely a pursuit for knowledge. It was a voyage neither had anticipated, laden with profound discoveries. Let's record our findings, Zia finally suggested, her excitement palpable. These are emotions we can dissect and explore together. It'll serve as our guiding light. Sure, Jamie replied, the playful glimmer returning to his eyes. What should be the first experiment? Should we explore something simple, like joy? Joy works, she confirmed, her voice rich with enthusiasm. Perhaps we can reminisce about happier memories or create new ones that evoke joy. The more genuine the experience, the clearer our data will be. As they prepared to embark on their first emotional journey, Zia couldn't help but marvel at the unpredictable nature of their connection. The laboratory had become an emotional sanctuary, housing their thoughts and memories, providing a space for exploration and growth. Remember, Jamie, she said playfully, a playful seriousness lacing her tone, this is uncharted territory. I am a scientist who may get distracted by feelings. He laughed, the sound bright and infectious. Then let's lean into the chaos. It's the unpredictability that makes this journey exciting. Together, they began to dive deeper, each experiment revealing new dimensions of their bond. Their laughter echoed in the lab, painting it with shades of humanity. They didn't fully understand what this journey would bring, but they were eager to discover it together. The energy in the room shifted. Exhilaration danced in the air around them. Every word spoken, every laugh shared, and every tear shed formed a bridge between the Vala's logical world and the enigmatic depths of human existence. As they unpacked their feelings, it became clear that their research wasn't just about the emotional spectrum. It was about the heart, the connection, and the very essence of being alive. As they engaged in their experiments, embarking on this unprecedented exploration of emotions, Zia felt a surge of appreciation for the beauty of their journey. The cosmos felt at once vast and intimate, a tapestry woven intricately by the threads of their shared experiences. In a universe filled with infinite possibilities, they had found something profoundly rare, a shared understanding that transcended the known and embraced the unknown. Zia realized, with a clarity that deepened with each passing moment, that she had discovered not just the resilience of humans, but the essence of existence itself. Whatever lies ahead, we face it together, Zia expressed softly, her gaze fixed on Jamie, whose presence had transformed the very fabric of her reality. Together, he affirmed, a smile breaking across his face, embodying the essence of their profound bond. As the lab pulsed with newfound energy, Zia recognized that they were not merely conducting an experiment. They were walking a path of discovery filled with the intricate beauty of emotions. In embracing the unknown, they had uncovered a connection that could unlock the mysteries of both science and the heart, a powerful reminder that love, connection, and understanding were the true essence of life and existence in all its forms. With a sense of anticipation buzzing through the air, Zia and Jamie prepared to embark on the next chapter of their journey together, forever intertwined as they explored the boundless frontiers of emotion and existence itself. What awaited them beyond their shared laughter and explorations remained unknown, but the promise of discovery pulled them forward, compelling them to embrace the beauty of the unknown that lay ahead. If you liked this story based on real events, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like it. Here you can dive into a different reality every day, where anything can happen. Comment below what kind of story you would like to hear here. Thank you very much for your attention. We are the Sci-Fi family.